Hi everyone, welcome to my class. And today we are going to be talking about phonology. Last week we talked about phonetics, and I hope that you still remember what phonetics is. Briefly speaking, phonetics is a study about speech sound. And today in phonology, we are looking at patterns, the speech patterns. Okay, so here is the topic for today's agenda. We've got phonemes and allophones. And we are also going to look at minimal pairs and also complementary distribution. And then up next, we have phonetic and phonemic representation. What are those? Yeah, later on you will know what they are. And then we also have types of phonological alternations. So first thing first, again, this is about phonology. So phonology concerns with the relationship among individual speech sounds or segment. Remember, segments. So we are going to look at segments here. And of course, there's a need for analysis at both a higher level and a lower level. In the higher level, it is necessary to think about how sounds are organized into syllables and other phonological organization, and that are crucial in the patterning of sounds. So we are going to look at the patterns of the sound, and also at a lower level, we consider features, for example, the articulatory and acoustic building blocks of sounds that are also crucial to understanding why sound systems have the particular contrast and patterns that they do. So the patterns here and the sound, the contrastive units here, they will make differences. Yeah, they will create different meanings, and words, yeah, in different words as well. First thing first, let's look at phonemes and allophones. So what are phonemes? Phonemes are actually contrastive units organized based on the phonetic properties of the sounds and whether those properties can be used to distinguish between words. So actually phonemes, you can also call phonemes as segment or phonemes, sound segment. Yeah? And phonemes are mental categories. In phonetics, we talked about the physical properties of a sound. Yeah, kan? We still remember about the manners of speech or manners of sound, and also the places of articulation. It's a physical process. We can feel it in our mouth or in our articulators. But phonemes is a mental symbol, a mental categories that we actually store only in our brains to represent a sound. And other than phonemes, you also have allophones. Allophones are variations or sound variations that are assigned to the same phoneme. Yeah? Physical sounds that occur in particular positions when words are spoken. For example, here I have two different diagrams here. We have the phonemes n and the phonemes n, yeah, and their allophones. Variasi bunyi, sound variation. So for example, if we look at the phonemes n, yang di garis miring, it is represented with slashes. If there is an N sound in front of dental consonants, usually it's going to be different with its pronunciation if the position is somewhere else. Jadi pengucapannya atau bunyinya akan berbeda tergantung dari posisi N ini tadi. For example, in front of dental consonants, you can try to produce the sound one thing, satu benda, one thing, and try to articulate it carefully. One, one thing, one thing. You see that the end there is very close to your teeth, yeah, in front of dental siuman. And try to compare it when you produce the sound one time, or yeah, one time and one thing. If it's one time, the end doesn't really touch the teeth, your teeth. Ya enggak? If it's one thing, menyentuh gigi, and one time, ada di belakang gigi. Nah, ini variasi dari bunyi N, pengucapannya beda. Tapi yaitu variasi bunyi N tadi ya. And then I also have another example, the phoneme E and its allophone, I. I itu kadang bisa panjang ya. It can be lengthened. I. Seperti contohnya in front of voiced obstruents. Yang voiced ada d gitu ya. Kalau yang voices ada t. Kalau masih ingat. Ya, for example with the word bead. Bead, manik, bead. Itu i-nya panjang di depan voiced obstruent. Kalau yang di depan voiceless obstruents, contohnya, itu i-nya lebih pendek, beat. Ya kan? Beat and beat. Nah, itu adalah variasi bunyi i. Fonem i and its allophones dan variasi bunyinya. I. Beat and beat. Yang satu lebih panjang, yang satu a bit shorter. Sama juga dengan kalau teman-teman menyebutkan when you pronounce the word tar and star. Tar and star. Nah, kalau t yang di awal in front of a word in the as the beginning sound, usually it's aspirated. Ada letupannya. Tar atau top, on the top of the shelf. T. Kalau t-nya di tengah-tengah kata kayak star, itu tidak ada letupannya. Star atau less aspirated atau tidak ada letupannya. You can prove this by feeling the pop of the air. You can put your hand in front of your mouth and try producing the sound, the word tar and star. See if there's a difference. With tar, itu plosive, aspirated. If it's star, itu tidak ada letupannya. Itu variasi dari bunyi t. Satunya aspirated atau ada letupannya, satunya tidak ada letupannya. The phoneme the phoneme t and allophones dan variasi bunyinya. Nah, ini ya. Ada contoh lagi phoneme and allophone. We've got this one, the tar, and then rider, itu juga tidak ada letupan, and then butter, maybe butter or butter, and eighth. Nah, variasi bunyi t itu berbeda-beda tergantung tempatnya, tergantung posisinya. Excuse me. And then let's look at the notes down below. We've got the crucial distinction between phonemes and allophones is that substituting one phoneme for another will result in a word with a different meaning, as well as different pronunciation. But substituting allophones only results in different and perhaps unusual pronunciation of the same word. Jadi kalau fonemnya berubah, segmennya berubah, kata-katanya bisa berbeda. For example, phoneme t, ya, tar. Kemudian saya ganti dengan phoneme b, bar. Tar and bar. Pengucapannya mirip, tapi satu segmen paling depan itu berbeda. Tar and bar. So, substituting phonemes may result in other words with different meaning. Tar sama bar kan berbeda. But if you substitute allophones, they do not change the meaning of the word. Yeah, the word is the same, but maybe the pronunciation is different. For example, with the word rider, ada yang bilang rider, ada yang bilang writer, t-nya hilang writer, or writer. Ada t, itu butter juga gitu ya. Butter or butter or butter, nah macam-macam t-nya. Hanya variasi bunyi aja. Cuma ya maksudnya ya butter, mentega, butter. So that's phonemes and allophones. Now, it's also important to look at minimal pairs and also complementary distribution if we are talking about phonemes or phonology. Ini ada satu istilah baru. A minimal pair consists of two words that differ by only one segment in the same position. Jadi segmennya berubah, but in the same position. And this is contrastive, meaning that it results in different word. Katanya berubah. Ya. Ada perubahan satu segmen tapi di posisi yang sama. We have some examples here. Contrast in initial position from the word sip to zip. Nah, ini berubah segmen awalnya dari s jadi z. Nah, dan itu merubah katanya juga. Katanya berbeda. Bunyi yang lain sama, segmen yang lain sama, e and p. Cuma yang paling awal berubah. Maknanya juga berubah. Berbeda kata sip and zip. And then we also have contrast in medial position in the middle. Ya. We've got either, ether, ether ya, ether, ether itu, ether, and either, ya, ether and either. Nah, satunya voiced, satunya voiceless. Ini juga berbeda. And then we also have contrast in final position. We've got some and sun. Ya, yang paling akhir segmennya berubah kan dari jadi an. Nah, ternyata berubah katanya juga. Maknanya berubah. Nah, ini maksudnya kontrastif. Contrast in meaning. Maknanya berbeda. Sun and some. Segmen pertama, segmen kedua sama. S and a. Sa. Tapi segmen terakhir berbeda. Some and sun. Ini yang dinamakan minimal pairs. I also have some other examples. Ini some consonant contrast in English. The first one is ini initial position ya. We've got feel and veal. Sama aja. Initial position, initial segmennya yang berbeda dari f jadi v. Segmen kedua dan ketiganya i dan l sama. Segmen pertamanya berubah, berbeda. Maknanya berbeda. We've got thigh and thy. Thigh and thy. Ini juga segmen pertamanya yang berbeda. Yang bawah juga some vowel contrasts in English. We've got beat and bit. Beat and bit. B-nya sama. Segmen keduanya berbeda. Ada I and E. Yang final consonant, final segmennya sama. Jadi minimal pair harus segmennya berubah tapi di posisi yang sama. Entah itu initial position, medial position, or the final position. That's minimal pair. And the next we've got complementary distribution. Yeah? When two sounds occur in non-overlapping, mutually exclusive environments, they are said to be in complementary distributions. Nah ini contohnya. Jadi jika ada satu fonim yang cuma bisa muncul di sebuah lingkungan, nah itu biasanya fonim atau alofon yang lain, bunyi yang lain, itu munculnya di lingkungan yang lain. Jadi lingkungannya berbeda, lingkungannya tidak sama. Fonim yang demikian itu munculnya di atau bunyi yang demikian itu munculnya di situasi yang kayak gini, yang seperti A. On the other hand, fonim yang lain munculnya di situasi selain A. Ini contohnya ya. An occurs in front of dental consonants such as the and the. Sama kayak tadi. One thing. Jadi an-nya itu langsung bersentuhan dengan dental. One thing. On them. In there. Coba ya. Nah, itu. Kemudian selain itu, ya, yang tidak bersentuh dengan dental, itu dia biasanya muncul di tempat lain, seperti one ship, one egg, one cent, $1. Ya, beda ya. Posisi n-nya berbeda. Ini namanya complementary distribution. Yang n yang bersentuhan, yang simbolnya seperti yang di A itu berarti dia munculnya di sebuah situasi yang demikian, yaitu yang in front of dental consonant. Selain itu, yang an biasa, dia munculnya di tempat yang lain-lain. This part, and also this part. Hang on a minute. Ini. Okay. And then we're moving on. Nah, another example of complementary distributions, ini with the sound E, E occurs in front of voiced obstruents. Jadi kalau ada voiced obstruents, jika ada E di depan voiced obstruents, maka vowelnya lengthen, diperpanjang. For example, heed, seize, leave. Jadi bukan hit, seize, leave, tapi heed, seize, leave. Panjang, vowel lengthening. Nah, itu simbolnya ada titik 2. Sini. Ini simbolnya. Selain itu, di situasi lain, di lingkungan lain, nah itu hit yang short. Heat, seize, leave, lean, see. Nah, ini ya. Jadi ini voiceless, also voiceless, voiceless, and others. Ya. Juga yang depan ini voiced, ini voiced, ini voiced. Jadi kalau depan voiced, nah, polanya ya, jika di depan voiced berarti I-nya panjang. Kalau selain itu, berarti I-nya pendek. Nah ini nah, kita melihat pola-polanya. She, drawings, jut. Next, we've got phonetic and phonemic representation. Wow. Yeah, okay. So we have this table over here. I think I'm gonna need to edit this for a while. Okay lah, it's okay lah. So we have this table over here, a sample of phonemic and phonetic representations in English. Ini ada dua, ada phonemic, ada phonetic. What are the differences? Yeah, let's look at the word first. We have 4 words there, and then we have on the next part is phonemic representation. So phonemic representation means the component or the component segment. Jadi kita sudah tahu kalau satu kata itu mengandung beberapa segmen, beberapa bunyi. Nah, kalau phonemic itu yang ada di our brain. And if it's phonemic, kita lihat dari yang pertama dulu type. Ada t, I, and d. Ya kan? Ada 3 segmen. Or maybe 4. Ya. I guess this one is diphthong. Ya. Seperti t, I, and d. Ya. And then, or maybe they're not diphthong. Ya, mungkin bukan diphthong ya. T, A, I, and d. Diphthong. And kalau phonetic is additional information that you put when you have to produce the sound. So it has an additional information. Contohnya yang tight ini, tadi kan kita sudah tahu kalau t di paling depan itu biasanya aspirated, ada letupannya. Nah itu dilambangkan dengan H itu, ada tulisan, ada huruf H kecil. Nah, this means that the t is aspirated. Kemudian yang kedua ada creep. Creep in our brain we can symbolize it as k, r, i, p. We've got 4 segments, ya, 4 segments. Now, phonetic representation is again the way you produce the sounds. Nah, kita bisa lihat di situ ternyata ada extra information yaitu voicelessness of the liquid. Liquid itu apa? Ada r di sini. Jadi creep. Voicelessness, creep. And then yang selanjutnya juga demikian, beat. Itu ada 3 segmen saja. B, I, D. Beat. Nah, itu phonemic in our brain is 3 segments. And then we've got the phonetic representation. Oh, we have an additional information here. Kalau I-nya harus dipanjangkan. Vowel lengthening. Masih ingat tadi kalau I di depan voiced obstruents, ya, de, gitu ya. Itu kan voiced obstruent. Nah, itu mengalami vowel lengthening. Dan yang lain. Jadi phonemik itu berkaitan dengan segmennya dan disimbolkan pakai slashes. If it's phonetic representation, this is how we produce the sounds, and it's an extra information to help us produce the sound. Dan disimbolkan dengan square brackets. Hopefully it's clear now. Hopefully it's a bit more clear on the differences between phonetic and phonemic representation. Next. Now next we have types of phonological alternations, perubahan phonology. We actually have 7 or maybe more processes, but in this course we are going to look at only 3 types, 3 most common types. The first one is assimilation, nasalization, and also elision. For the rest of the types, you are welcome to find out the meanings, the definition, and also the examples yourself, maybe on the internet and also on our source books. You can also do that. The first one is assimilation. This is when two sounds that are different becoming more alike. Jadi dua sound yang berbeda menjadi kemirip-miripan. For example, this may happen inside a word, for example, like treasure, or between two words, meet and handbag. When we say the word meet you, it's not meet and you. Nice to meet you. Enggak kan? We usually assimilate things. It's nice to meet you. Meet you. Same with handbag. Yeah. Usually, yeah, we can say if it's slowly or careful speech, then we usually say handbag. Where's my handbag? But if we do it quickly, yeah, it's usually assimilated. For example, where's my handbag? Itu bukan hand and bag, tapi handbag. Where's my handbag? Assimilate. Also, I have another example here with I have to go. Have, itu kan we know there is a v there, and it is supposed to be voiced, ya kan? Tapi kalau kita ngomong biasanya kita nggak pakai voiced. Kita pakainya yang voiceless untuk mempercepat. Jadi bukan I have to go, tapi I have to go. I have to go. Bukan I have to go, tapi I have to go. Ya enggak? You can try it on your own. I have to go. Next, we've got nasalization. It's a nasalized articulation of a sound. Ya, nasalized masuk ke nasal cavity. For example, with the sound and a. Ya. It's actually not nasalized. Biasanya nasalized itu cuma ada ang itu nasalized. But when it is put in words, for example, like pen and pan, usually it's nasalized. Ya. Jadi agak pindang. Silakan dicoba. Pen and pan. Nah, I sama E-nya ikut nasalized. And it is represented with a small diacritic above the vowels. Jadi di atas vowelsnya ini biasanya ada diakritiknya. Ini kebetulan nggak ada ya. Something like this. Squiggle, squiggle. Nah, kalau ada diakritik itu berarti dia nasalized. Contoh lagi ada I can go. Ya, usually if it's careful speech, then you say I can go. Tapi kadang-kadang karena kita ngomongnya cepat, jadi nasalize semuanya. I can go. I can go. Jadi bukan I can, tapi I can. I can go. I can go. Jadi bukan I can go, I can go. Nah, ini proses nasalization. And we have a rule here, a pattern. Ya, sebuah pola lagi. Any vowel becomes nasal whenever it immediately precedes nasal. Jadi vowel apapun itu yang di depan nasal, itu dia menjadi nasalized. Kayak yang pin and pan tadi ya. Up next, we've got elision. Elision is leaving out pronouncing a sound segment that might be present in deliberately careful pronunciation. Nah, ini contohnya, kita punya beberapa. In a careful pronunciation, maybe you would say, you would pronounce this word as friendship. 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 Ada d-nya dibunyikan. But, sometimes if we want to speak faster, usually we delete some segments. For example, like friendship. Jadi d-nya nggak ada. Friendship. Jadi bukan friendship. My friendship with her is good. Jadi lebih cepat my friendship, bukan my friendship. Ada juga di must. The in the word must. Kadang-kadang kita juga nggak mengucapkan ya. I must do this. Kelamaan, kesuwen. It takes too long. So we can just delete the final segment. He must do this. He must be. Bukan he must be, tapi he must be. Also with the word every. Bukan every, tapi every. E-nya hilang yang di tengah-tengah. And also with interest. Bukan interest, but interest. I'm interested. Bukan I'm interested. Kepanjangan. So this is called elision. Now, this is the summary of the phonological alternation. We've got assimilation, nasalization, and also elision. Yeah, I guess that's all with today's topic about phonology. Now I want you to work on your worksheet on phonology, and we will discuss your answers to the worksheet next time we meet. If you still have some questions, you can refer to your handbook, or you can also ask me personally or in our WhatsApp group. Okay? Thank you for watching, and hopefully you learned a lot from our session. And see you next time. Bye-bye.